welcome back to Justlivin Designs podcast. My name is Shannon, Justlivin Designs. This is episode number 35, come to you from Montana. I am an independent knitwear designer. You can find my links to all my patterns down below. There's a link tree that takes you to everything that I do, but then there's also just a straight up link to my Ravelry pattern page, my seller site area. So if you want to just go through Ravelry, because that's where most people go. And then all my other social medias are linked in that link tree as well. I'm on Instagram as at Justlivin Designs, Threads the same, and Blue Sky, I think the same. And then but this is my podcast that I talk about everything that I've been making. If I have a new design release, which I do today, I will talk about that. All that fun stuff. I'm going to say it off the bat. I haven't said it for a while, but if you like this podcast, please like, comment, subscribe. Gets my channel out to more people. I also have tutorials on this channel, and I just uploaded one earlier this week on how to cable without a cable needle. My specific one is for a 2x2 crossing cable. So over 4 stitches, 2 stitches crossing over both ways from right to left. But yeah, because I will have an upcoming design that has cables, and I wanted a video out there to help people if they didn't want to use a cable needle. First off, everything I talk about, I'll have linked down below as well. Is this straight? Who knows? All right. First thing I want to talk about is I had to do a new draw for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. That was on episode 32. I let it go for, I announced it on episode 33. And that person did not contact me. I gave him a whole month essentially, because this is episode 35. So I'm going to draw again. And this is to win a skein from Western Sky Knits of the Ramble colorway of their smooth sock. It's a gorgeous, earthy tones of all the browns and greens and blues. It's lovely. So the winner will get this skein and one of my patterns. They just have to pick which one, and I'll gift it to them. If they're in the US. If they're not in the US, they do not get the skein of yarn, but they do get a choice of 3 patterns from my pattern site. So the winner is Helen Knits Love. I'll put the little drawing thing right up here. So Helen, I'm assuming Helen is your name. Please reach out to me either via email, which is down below in the description box as well, or on Instagram you can DM me. Again, my Instagram is at Justlivin Designs, which is also listed down below. Feel free to DM me there, or you could also do my Ravelry, which I'm just living on Ravelry. You could message me on Ravelry as well. So those 3 places are a way to get a hold of me. I will need your address, your full name, address, and then your Ravelry username and whatever pattern you would like. So just get out to me. All right. I think that's all the admin-y stuff. First off, I'm going to talk about a new design that's coming out. You guys have seen it the last few episodes because I've been showing it. But it is releasing, I think today. Today is, I never said, Thursday, February 20th. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. This will come out on Friday. I will either release this pattern sometime today. I just need to finish up putting in my pictures, or tomorrow. But once I put it up there, I will put a link down below in the description box. So if it's not down there right away when this video comes out, it will be later on in the day once I get it published. So I haven't decided if it's, if I like all my pictures the best. So I have to decide if I want any different pictures or not. Yeah, but this is the the name I have chosen is Floyd mitts. I've been calling them like my dark side mitts, dark side of the moon mitts, because this colorway is dark side EPB from Mustache Yarns. So it's title, the yarn is inspired by the album cover from Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And so I opted for Floyd mitts. It is a simple stockinette and just rib, sport weight knit mitt pattern that plays well with self-striping or variegated or whatever type of yarn, or solids or tonals. And so it's just a nice palette to play with yarn, really. This is the size large, size small. You can kind of see the difference between the two, but yeah. My testers got done really fast with it. It's a quick knit. It's an easy knit. So I hope you guys all enjoy. I will also have a 15% off coupon code listed down below when I put the link down there. It will be good on both Ravelry and Payhip, but the other place I sell patterns is Lovecrafts. I can't put coupon codes there, so if you buy from Lovecrafts, you have to pay full price. The code will be good for 1 week, so it generally is like from the date of release till the following, like if I release it Thursday, it'll be good through the following Thursday at midnight. If I release it Friday, the following Friday at midnight. So it's generally good for 1 week. And I will put that down below, how long the coupon code is good for. But yeah, lovely pair of mitts. So it's my first design release for the year. I took a bit of time off. I just finished knitting another design yesterday. I don't show those usually until they kind of are coming out. So I just finished knitting on a shawl that I designed, and I'm almost done knitting on another pair of socks. So the next one, the socks are already written up at my tech editor. So that's the next one that will probably come out. And then the shawl, maybe I'll have come out maybe in the fall or something, just because people generally don't want to knit warm woolly shawls in the summertime. So my testers will knit it in the summertime. But yeah, so that yarn is already done and all that stuff. All right. Now on to what I'm wearing / finished objects, because what I'm wearing is a finished objects. Last time you guys saw this, I think, did I have a full sleeve done and just started the next sleeve? Possibly. So I just had one sleeve to go, I think. And I finished it up pretty quickly after the last podcast. So this is the Broom sweater by Andrea Mowry. It is knit in the Called For Yarn, Odang DK by the Farmer's Daughters Fibers. So that's, and then Farmer's Daughters. This colorway is Teton. So my size that I was knitting, which I believe is size 3, called for 4 skeins. This is how much I had left of the 3rd skein. And I did add a little length to the body. And I'm not sure if the sleeves are to length or not. And then I did decrease the size of the collar. So I don't know if I would have needed to break into the 4th one or not, if I would have knit it to pattern, who knows. I know the body has a lot more knitting on it than, the neck or even the sleeves. So I would assume I wouldn't have. And I think I got gauge. Pretty sure I got gauge. When it blocked out, because did I do a swatch and block it? I don't remember. With this one, when it blocked out, it did stretch and grow a bit. The sleeves got a little bit longer, the body got a little bit longer, and then the collar was sitting up a lot nicer, closer to the neck. Like, I kind of like my collars to be a little bit closer, not kind of as wide. So I don't really like how the neck lays as much, but I only did about a little over an inch of a folded, well, it's like 3 inches, so it's 1.5 inches or so that I knit, and then it's a fold over collar. I think it's supposed to be 7 inches and then folded over for the pattern, something like that. I didn't want it that big because it also, since it sits kind of out like this, it kind of be weird. This is very drapey because this is Surrey alpaca. It is a pain in the butt to knit with, but it's the divine to wear. It is the softest thing. It's warm. Today it's actually supposed to get pretty warm, so I don't know if I'll wear this all day. My daughter, this is mostly a sweater for my daughter. I knit it in a size that is the appropriate amount of ease on her, which I think is like 10 inches. And it's only like well, now it, like I said, it blocked out big. So it's more ease on me than it was, but here's the whole size. It's just like a big snuggly sweatshirty type fit. She loves it. She wore it to school last week. We've been cold for the last couple of weeks, so she's been enjoying it. Yeah, I think that's it about that. The other thing I finished was these socks that I started at the beginning of the month, the glass ceiling socks. I used the Minecraft socks pattern by Heather Cox that I manipulated for stitch count and for fit over the foot. And then I used my good heel for self-striping yarn for the heel because my daughter likes the fit of these. These are socks for her. And this yarn is from Legacy Fiber Arts. It is their steel toes. It was a sock set, so 100 grams of main color and a 20 gram mini that came with it. And I have plenty of yarn left over. This pattern looks better, not stretched out. You can kind of see how that patterning is. These have been blocked lightly. They're not like crazy blocked, but they do suck in because it's kind of a ribbed type pattern. But yeah, she'll enjoy these. Nice pair of socks. I talked more about the colorway last time, so if you want to hear my thoughts on this colorway, it's on last videos 2 weeks ago. All right, so that's my 2 finished objects. And like I said, I just finished something else yesterday, but you guys don't get to see it yet, so there's technically 3 from the last 2 weeks. All right, we'll go into whips. Right? Yes. All right, whips. I don't think I brought up a blocker. These would look better on a blocker, but they're not done yet. But these are my astronomy socks from Gauge Dye Works. It was her February night sky knit along. I do have both of them because I'm going tandem. I'm not knitting them on the same needle. I do like to knit when it's like a Advent thing. I usually do knit it on the same needle, but I don't like to knit ribbing on the same needle on a long circular at 2 at a time. So I knit them tandem because these are for my husband and he prefers a rib sock. I used my good heel for self-striping yarn. I put in the heel since last time because I am up to date, so I've got my 20 stripes so far. And this stripe right here is the same color as the contrast stripe. So in the middle of that stripe, I put in the heel. Because I was going to go for 14, and I think that's the 14th round. So I just did it a couple rows early to put it in the middle, because then you have a little bit of that above the heel and a little bit below the heel to kind of tie it all nice together. It's kind of nice how that worked out. But yeah, plugging along every morning. This is what I work on right away. My charms, you can't see them very well because they're upside down. But these are both some Star Wars charms from Charmed and Dangerous, one of my favorite charm makers. You see all her charms are on most of my projects. So mostly if it's a charm from her, or if it's a charm on a project, it's from her. There are a few other ones. But this is the most common one that I use, is Charmed and Dangerous. Are these all twisted now? Yeah. Put them back in the bag the right way so when I pull them out later. So these will be done before the next episode. Because they'll be done at the end of the month. And this is a bag from Bags by Awesome Granny. This is her smallest size. She's very reasonable priced. Etsy shop. I love this one because of like all the crazy socks. All right. Let's see. My next work in progress is a new sock cast on. And I just put it in the same bag that I had last time, which is a Barley Pearls bag. It's the library card bag. I love this one. And I love their size of bags for socks because they fit a full size skein of yarn plus a contrast plus pattern, whatever else you need, but it's not too big. So here's one sock. Again, this is one of those that sucks in nice. You can see the texture really well without it being blocked, but I'm going to show you pulled out here what we look like. So this is one of my designs that I released last year, Shell Seeker socks. It was named after the colorway that I designed the socks in. A lot of times I do that if I don't have a flash for inspiration. It comes off the colorway of the sock yarn or whatever yarn. But yeah, you can see it's a type of broken rib that's oscillating back and forth, but it also changes the amount of ribbing for each section. So it's kind of a fun one. Fits really well, stays up on your leg. I do have the second one started. This one just kind of goes in my purse because it's very easy to memorize the chart. Another Charmed and Dangerous charm. So this yarn is from Fireweave Fiber Co. They are another Canadian dyer, just like Gauge Dye Works. And they are, this was their Sweet Pea sock, which is an 80-20 superwash merino nylon. This was part of their 2023 yarn club. It was the May colorway. It was a Buffy, the Vampire Slayer themed club. And this one's "You're not special, you're extraordinary." It was a great Xander quote on that show, Talking to Dawn. So yeah, these are going to be a gift for my sister-in-law. She's a big Buffy fan as well. And so I've already given her one pair of socks knit out of one of the colorways. Did I give it to her last year or 2 years ago? It might have been Christmas 2 years ago. So 2023's Christmas that she got the first pair. And I still have a couple of skeins in stash from that club. So I'm knit this one up because I also thought it was kind of like spring, St. Patty's Day vibes because it's got all that green and the specklies. So I thought, oh, that would work for this time of year. All right, so those will be done probably soon. Last whip is, or second to last whip, I will show you my granny scrap blanket too. My after I finished this sweater, and I had it in this new bag that I talked about a lot last time, the redesign number 10, I started a new sweater because I'm trying to be better about only maybe having one sweater on the needles at a time. And I started another Bibliophile 3 by Alicia Plummer for my husband. It was his best fitting sweater so far that I knit him one last year with this yarn. Justlivin Designs Nightshades in Insomnia. If you watched my, I don't remember what episode I showed it on, but if you watched my first episode in January, my bonus episode this year, he makes an appearance because that was one of the best sweaters, one of my favorite knits of the year because it fit him so well. So this is the same yarn that I tried to knit a cardigan for him, and it just wasn't working out. So I decided to cast on a Bibliophile 3 for him, which the Bibliophile 3 is meant to be more masculine fitting. So it's either a boyfriend style for a female or a men's style sweater. So I am still in the raglan increases. It's just a top-down raglan. It doesn't have short rows. Knit starts flat to make your collar dip area, and then later you pick up the collar. I usually like to pick up the collar before I get down to sleeve separation or just shortly after sleeve separation. So when I have him try it on, just to make sure everything fits, it lays the right way on his body with that collar attached. So I'll probably do that. This yarn is, I think I took all the rest of them downstairs already. They used to kind of live right in this cubby, if you remember. But this is from Ranching Tradition Fiber. Tobacco Root Valley is the type of yarn, and the colorway is fur. But yeah, so I had a bunch of these. They're not spun the best. Like I said before, when I was working on this was bought when we had a local fiber fest here, and I think it was one of her first batches of this yarn. It's very variegated tonal, dyed, and then I think she's more consistent with her dyeing now. Also, the spinning, the mill that she's gotten yarn spun from is more consistent on spinning it. There's a lot of areas in this yarn, like you can see here, where it's just not spun very well. And so it is what it is. I'm using it. I don't know if I'm going, so far I haven't come across any really bad unspun spots. I haven't ripped out the other sweater yet. So the yarns that are in there are just in there. Because I might have enough without ripping that one out all the way. I probably will at some point and rewind it just so I have that yarn to use for like hats or something, or mitts. But another green sweater. I'm on the green sweater train apparently. Right now I'm not alternating skeins. I will once I get past the increases, just because I find it annoying to do it during increases. So I'll alternate once I get down, but they're all fairly variegated, and the next ball that I have going is very similar to this first one, so it should be all right. Anyways, and there's another little Charmed and Dangerous charm, my Edgar Allan Poe from her. Love that one. So yeah, that is my big sweater project. Once I get past the raglan, it will be just boring stockinette knitting, but really that's what lately that's what I prefer. I don't want complicated. I don't want difficult. I want either garter stitch or simple stockinette stitch generally. I mean, simple like ribbing textures is fine, but I don't want anything too complicated. And I think that's just because of the state of the world. My brain just can't function enough to do everything else. Last, I was hoping to actually have this done soon, but it's still not done because I haven't been putting enough effort into it. But this is my granny stripe blanket, using leftover 20 grams of leftover sock yarn or 20 gram minis. Let's get the front side here. All right, so it's big. You guys have seen it like so many times. Where I was last time is in this, and I've added 2 colors. I'm almost done with this light blue up here. I've actually used this. This is a Western Sky Knits colorway that I've used in 2 different sock designs because they were both shorties. And this was my start of February, is down here. So I will probably finish up this ball because I only did 4 colors total. So I have this lovely brown on the inside. That will be my last color for this ball. And then again, I'm going to measure it when I'm done and see if I think I need more. Because I think I decided I needed about 6 inches. I don't think I'll be at 6 inches. Once I finish that next colorway, I might need 1 more or 2 more. Because like I said, I want it to be long enough for my husband to lay on the couch with it kind of up around his shoulders and then draping over his feet. So it's big enough for the biggest person in the family to use. All right. But yeah, it's plenty big. hopefully next time you guys see that, it will be done. Either by the next time or the time after that. Like I said, it just depends on how many more colors I have to add in. But hopefully it'll be done soon. All right, so that's all the knitting / crocheting. I do have one acquisition, and then I'm going to talk about an acquisition that I talked about last week. So my one acquisition just came in the mail the other day. This is from Dragon Horde Yarns. She's like the queen of moody, dark, just lovely, gorgeous colorways. And I missed out on the first time she had this available. This is her Fourth Wing series inspired yarns, and this is the mini skein pack. There's nine skeins of 20-gram minis. And she reopened it for another listing of a pre-order, and I got on the second time. So, and she sent a little micro sweater pattern on the back. I'm covering up the actual pattern. So you can knit little micro sweaters. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, if I'm going to design something or just enjoy seeing it in my stash for a while, or maybe just make a pair of scrappy socks and then, I don't know yet. There's plenty of yarn to make probably 2 pairs of socks if I really wanted to. But I have so much sock yarn, so I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I'll make something, I'm sure, at some point in time. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is last time I showed you guys the Five Oaks Farm. I had talked about their lotion bar that I didn't really enjoy it as much. And I got a bread bag from them that is like a cotton bag that's then brushed with beeswax to help store fresh baked bread in. It's supposed to keep it from molding. I used it because I made sourdough last week. I made my cinnamon raisin, and the thing is, it dried out my bread way too fast. Normally, they'd say when you make sourdough, it only should really last 24 to 48 hours. But mine, I will use it longer than that if I toast it, because it does start to dry out naturally. This dried out. I put it in the bread bag after we cut into it the day I made it, and I put it in the bread bag. And then the next morning, the crust on top was quite a lot drier than it usually is when I store my regular bags in plastic. It was just my regular breads in plastic, and it was very dry and hard to cut through. The bottom of my bread is always pretty tough because that's where it sits on the pot, but the top crust isn't usually that terribly tough. It's flaky, not terribly tough. This made it terribly tough. So I don't know if I would want to eat the bread without toasting it after the first cutting if I use this. And it got to be the point where it just kept getting harder and harder that I put it into plastic, because generally speaking, my bread doesn't go moldy. I'm in a dry environment, not in a moist environment. These guys are from Alabama. They're in a much more humid climate, warmer climate. So I generally don't have the breads going moldy, especially like handmade breads, going moldy before we actually are going to consume it all the way. It'll dry out first before it goes moldy. And this just made it dry out faster. So not something I really am happy with personally, but if you live in a more humid environment, maybe it's a good bet for you. But in my dry climate, no, not necessary. So yeah, that's all the knitting bits. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about reading, watching, and life stuff to end off this day. Reading, I finished one book. I'm still actually reading. I finished listening to a book. I have been so much better about listening to books and getting through books that way than I have been actually sitting down and reading. I think maybe it's because the just my brain space and just I'm tired at night. I don't read, and that's generally when I read. So anyways, I finished Do Not Disturb by Freida McFadden. I was listening to that on, I think, the Audible app, actually, not my Libby app, because that one was a free book on Audible. And then I just started listening to Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune on my Libby app from the library. That's the second book from after the, I don't remember what the first one was called. House on the Cerulean Sea, maybe, that I listened to last year, or read last year. Did I listen to it too? I might have listened to it and read that one, like a tandem thing. I'm still reading Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, the third book in her European series, or however you pronounce that, the Fourth Wing series. And I'm still reading All the Colors of the Night by Chris Whitaker. That one I might read a chapter or two here or there. Generally, Onyx Storm is the one I pick up before bed if I'm awake enough to read. Watching. I finished watching the second season of The Recruit. The other day, my son wanted to watch something, so we went through and we ended up watching Shrek. He doesn't remember actually ever seeing Shrek. He watched it as a kid, but I don't think we've seen it for a long time, so he enjoyed that. We did end up watching the Super Bowl. That was, 2 Sundays ago. I didn't start watching it at the beginning, but I did turn it on, and it was quite a boring game, to be honest. I'm glad the Chiefs didn't win, but they didn't deserve to win. So watched a lot of the SNL 50 stuff. I watched the last weekend they had a big thing on Saturday about the music, and then on Sunday they had the actual 50th show. And I don't think I started watching the show at the beginning because I thought it was going to start at 7 our time, because a lot of times when it's live we get the Central Time live, but they did start it at 6, so we were still eating dinner at that point, so we didn't start watching it till after dinner. The other night my son wanted to watch something and we were just scrolling through. I think it was on Amazon Prime. I think it's slated to leave soon on Amazon, but it was a Hubble documentary that was only like 45 minutes long. And it came out in 2010, so right after the last Hubble mission went up to fix it with the shuttles and stuff. My son loves space, loves everything about space, might want to be an astrophysicist. Yeah. And my son loves everything about space, wants to be an astrophysicist. My husband loves space as well, loves rocketry, all that stuff. So yeah, they really enjoyed that. And then what else? Nature Nova. I've been trying to catch those on Wednesday nights. Last night I watched it. And then I started rewatching Supernatural because again, brain space, can't focus on something new. So when I have the TV to myself, I've been just watching Supernatural over again. It's probably my third time rewatching the series. It's 15 seasons and I'm still in the first. Life stuff, speech and debates all finished for my daughter. There's supposed to be a awards thing tonight. Well, there is an awards thing tonight. We're not going because she is homesick today. They do like a cake sale thing to help support the kids that are going to nationals. So you spend a lot of money on a cake. But yeah, we're not going because she's sick, so we're going to stay home. And then she's homesick. We judged the speech and debate tournament. It was the regionals that decides who goes to nationals last weekend because it was a local one. So I judged on last Friday, like from 3 till, I think I was done by 9, 3 to 9. And then my husband judged on Saturday. I think he had 3 rounds Saturday. I had 3 rounds Friday. He had 3 rounds Saturday. So he was home around 2:30, somewhere in there. My son just competed in, well, he had his local school math counts a few weeks back, and then they were supposed to have the regional one about 2 weeks ago, but there was a snow day, so it was postponed, and he just had it a couple days back, and he ended up qualifying for the state math counts. So that will be in another couple of weeks, I think. So yeah, he's excited about that. Talking about sick kids, my son was home last Friday sick. So luckily, my husband and I haven't gotten anything yet. Just knocking on wood. And then the other big thing is weather. It was, we had more snow that started on Friday. We got about maybe an inch on Friday last week, and then maybe another inch or so on Saturday, and then Sunday and Monday it snowed all day, and still snowed a bit on Tuesday. And we got probably another, I don't know, 10 inches on top of what we had previously. So it's well over 2 feet just laying there on the ground. But we were really cold. We were frigid. Multiple days of not getting above 0 degrees Fahrenheit earlier this week. And today was the first day that we started out the day above 0. It was 3 degrees this morning when I woke up. So that was kind of cool. And then it's just supposed to get warmer and warmer all day. It's supposed to get up into the low 30s today, and then I think the 40s the rest of the week. So things will start melting more. I mean, they do melt with the sunshine. It's quite bright. I have a window or the curtains open, lots of snow out there, sun's out. It's very bright. But yeah, so that's the big thing. Hopefully spring will actually eventually come. A lot of snow this year. We're kind of tired of it. We still haven't had the plows through our neighborhood from the snowstorm on Sunday and Monday because we were the last neighborhood on the list. So maybe they'll get to us by tomorrow, but who knows? At that point, it's so packed down. But with it starting to melt, they might get more of it up with the melting because it starts to get slushy. But yeah, I think that's about everything. Again, for the giveaway winner, please contact me one of 3 ways, and I'll get your prize out to you. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and commenting and subscribing. Always leave me a comment if you have a question, or if you just want to tell me something, or if you've knit one of the things that I've knit, or if you just, I enjoy the comments. I will always at least like your comments. I read every single one of them. And I'll comment back if there's something that is worth me piping in on. Yeah. I hope you guys have a good 2 weeks. I hope you have a good next 2 weeks. I'm not sure if I will be here in 2 weeks because it might be during spring break and I might not be available. So it might come out. Maybe I'll end up recording a little bit late, but not a whole week late. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 to 3 weeks. How about that? All right. Talk to you later.